Ooh, take a look at this situation. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and this guy wants to ask his coworker a question. Which question should he ask her? Should he say, "How was your morning?" Or, "How's your morning been?" Okay, it's 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Which one would be better? Well, in this lesson, I'm going to teach you. Hey, if you like getting tips like this, I'd be so happy if you subscribe to my channel right down there. Okay, so let's say these two people are coworkers. They're colleagues, right? They work at a bank, okay? And they work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, that's a typical job, banking hours, right? 9 to 5. Most jobs here in Canada, most normal employees work 9 to 5. Actually, there are a lot of jobs with different hours, but this is probably the most common shift, 9 to 5, right? Now, I just want to remind you that 12 p.m. means noon. Noon. That's when you eat lunch, okay? And 12 a.m. means midnight. Midnight. A lot of English learners make a mistake with these. They think this is 12 a.m. and this is 12 p.m., but it's not, okay? When you eat your lunch is 12 p.m. and 12 a.m., well, that's midnight, right? Okay, you should be sleeping by midnight, but most of the time, I'm not even in bed by 12 a.m. Usually, I stay up really late. Right now, I don't know what the time is right now. It's probably about midnight right now when I'm making this video. Okay, so usually I make videos late at night. Okay, so 12 p.m. Okay, anything before 12 p.m. is the morning, right? And anything after 12 p.m. is the afternoon. And the afternoon goes till about 5 or 6 p.m. And then the evening starts. And then the evening goes till, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 p.m. And then the night starts. And the night goes until whenever you wake up, right? Okay, so let's say it's 11 a.m. Okay, and he asks her, "How's your morning been? How's your morning been?" This is the right question. This is better than this one. How was your morning? Okay, now if it was 12 p.m., okay, then how was your morning? This would be a better question because the morning is finished, right? The morning is finished. So we use the word was when something is finished. But over here, 11 a.m., okay, it's 11. So the morning's not finished yet, right? So this is not the best. This is better. How's your morning been? He's using this question because it's still the morning. The morning is not finished yet. But if the morning is finished, right, if it's 12, then it would be, how was your morning? Now, if they are on lunch break and it's 11 a.m., okay, sometimes people have their lunch break that early, 11 a.m. here in Canada. Probably most of the time it's a bit later, like 11:30 or 12 or even 12:30. But sometimes it's as early as 11 a.m. Okay, so if they are on lunch break, then he could ask her, "How was your morning? How was your morning?" Because usually we see lunch as the end of the morning. So if you're on lunch break, that means your morning is finished. Even though it's still technically the morning, they think the morning is over, right? So you could say this, "How was your morning?" When you're on lunch break. Maybe they're eating lunch together and he would just ask her a polite question. "Hey, how was your morning?" And she would say, "Oh, it was great, thanks. How was yours?" Okay. So let's say it's 9:30 a.m. 9:30. How has your morning been? Is this a good question to ask at 9:30? What do you think? Well, no, it's not the best question to ask because the morning has just started, right? They've just started their shift at 9 o'clock, right? It's only half an hour into their shift. So this question is unnatural to ask here. It would be a little bit better if he would ask this: how has your morning been so far? So far. This would be a little bit better. Now, do you know what so far means? So far means up till now. Up till now. Okay, so here is when he's asking her, how has your morning been so far? He's asking about that period, right? So far. They started there, then he's asking about that period. Now he's saying so far because the morning is not finished here. The morning keeps going, right? So that's when we use so far, when it's like in the middle of something, when something started but it's not finished yet. So then we use so far. Okay, so he could say that. But I think the best question to ask at 9:30 a.m. is this: how's your morning going so far? How's your morning going so far? Hey Linda, how's your morning going so far? This is the most natural question to ask, not how's your morning been? Okay, there are two things here. How's your morning been and how's your morning going? You look at this word here, how's. How's. Do you know what that means? It could mean two things. It could mean how is or how has. Right? This S here could mean is or has. Wow. Did you know that? If you didn't know that, smash that like button right down there. I love teaching you secrets about English. So this could be two things. Okay. Now we know here it's is, not has. How do we know that? We know that because of this word here, going. Okay. This word here with ing, that's in the continuous form, okay? So this is. How is your morning going? Is going. Okay, now if this word would be been, then this one has to be has. How has your morning been? Has been, right? How has your morning been so far? Okay, so it can be a little bit confusing sometimes, right? When you're falling asleep tonight, okay, when you go to bed, I want you to think about this word, how's. How's. It can be how is something going or how has something been. Think about that. That might help you fall asleep a little bit quicker. Okay, so another thing he could ask her is this: is your morning off to a good start? Hey Linda, is your morning off to a good start? Is your morning off to a good start? That means, the morning has just started, right? It started at 9 o'clock. They started work, and now it's just 30 minutes later, okay? Now, let's say it's around 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., sort of in the middle of the morning. Then he could just ask her, how's your morning going? How's your morning going? That would probably be the best, the most natural question to ask in the middle of the morning. Okay, now let's say it's 11 a.m. to noon, sometime in that last hour of the morning, right? Then he could say this: how's your morning been? Hey, how's your morning been? This is a good question to ask here because the morning is almost over. It's not over yet, so he can't say, how was your morning? So he has to say, how has your morning been? This is the best one to use when it's just about ending, okay? And then if it's, lunchtime, 12 p.m., then how was your morning? Because the morning is finished, right? Now, all the same things apply to the afternoon, okay? So after 12, then it's the afternoon, right? So let's say it's 1 p.m. Then he could say, how's your afternoon going so far? Hey, Linda, how's your afternoon going so far? Right? The afternoon has just started, right? So he's asking this question. Okay, now let's say it's 3 p.m. 3 p.m., okay? Then he could ask, how's your afternoon going? How's your afternoon going, right? It's the middle of the afternoon, so this is probably the best question to ask. I mean, you could say, how's your afternoon going so far? Hey, how's your afternoon going so far? That would be fine too. Okay, so these things are a bit flexible, right? I just want to show you the most natural things to say in a situation, right? But really, I mean, you have some options. It's not fixed. You don't have to memorize these times. 3 p.m., I have to say this. 1 p.m., I have to say this. It's not like that, okay? It's flexible, okay? So this is just what I would say, in the middle of the afternoon, okay? Now, what about 4 p.m.? Now, at 4 p.m., the afternoon is coming to an end. Remember, they only work till 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, their shift is over and they go home, right? So at 4 p.m., he could say, how's your afternoon been? Hey, Linda, how's your afternoon been? How's your afternoon been? That sort of indicates that the afternoon is coming to an end. It's not over yet, but it's getting close, okay? And then at 5 p.m., he could ask her, hey, how was your afternoon? Hey, how was your afternoon, right? He hasn't seen her all day, right? Maybe they work in different departments or something. Hey, Linda, how was your afternoon? Okay, so their afternoon is over, so that's why he can ask her this question, okay? Now let's practice using the word day instead of morning and afternoon. Let's use the word day instead, right? I mean, it's your choice. You can ask, whatever question you want. If it's in the morning, you can say morning, or you could say day, right? So let's use the word day. So let's say it's 9:30 a.m. What could you ask Linda? Well, I think the best thing to ask would be, hey Linda, how's your day going so far? Hey Linda, how's your day going so far? Or is your day off to a good start? Right? They just started their day. They started at 9 o'clock. Hey Linda, is your day off to a good start? Or hey Linda, how's your day going so far? Okay. And then what about 11 a.m.? 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay. What should he ask? Well, he could ask the same thing. He could say the same thing because now we're talking about day, not morning, right? So now the period is much longer, right? So our choice of words is relative to the time period that we're talking about. If we're talking about the morning, now the morning is almost over, right? So he could say, maybe, how's your morning going? Or he could say, how's your morning been so far? But now we're talking about the day. So really, it's early in the day, right? So he could still say, hey, Linda, how's your day going? How's your day going so far? Okay, or he could even say, is your day off to a good start? Because it's only 2 hours into the day, right? So let's say it's 12 o'clock lunchtime. It's 12 noon, right? Then what should he say? What would you say here? Well, I would say, hey, Linda, how's your day going? Hey, Linda, how's your day going? Because it's in the middle of the day, right? It's in the middle of the day. So I think the most natural thing would just be to say, hey, how's your day going? Okay. Now let's say it's 3 p.m. Okay, then what would you say here? Think about it. I would say probably, hey Linda, how's your day been? Hey Linda, how's your day been so far? Or you can use so far, or you don't have to use so far. It's your choice. You could also say, how's your day going? That's also possible here. But now the day is getting close to an end, right? It's sort of, there's 2 hours left in their work day. Okay, so he could ask, hey Linda, how's your day been? How has your day been? Okay, now let's say it's 5 p.m. What would you ask here? Well, I would ask, hey Linda, how was your day? How was your day? Because now the day is finished. Now they're going home. See you tomorrow. Bye. Okay. Actually, the day is not over, right? There's still lots of day left, but their work day is over. So in this context, right, when they're saying, hey, how was your day? They mean, how was your work day? Your work day, right? They work 9 to 5. So he's not asking about, the rest of the day, right? The day is over. The work day is over. Now they won't see each other again. They're going to see each other again tomorrow morning. Okay, so the day is over. That's why he can use the word was, because the day is finished. Okay, now let's talk about the night shift. For people who work the night shift, right? Maybe you work at Walmart or something, and you have to stock the shelves. It means you have to put the products on the shelves. You have to stock shelves at night, all through the night, right? So these people, they start work at 6 p.m. and they finish work at 6 a.m. That's a 12-hour shift. Wow. Okay, we call this kind of shift a graveyard shift. A graveyard shift. Do you know what a graveyard is? A graveyard is a cemetery. A cemetery where, like, dead people are buried. Okay, with like tombstones. Usually graveyards are sort of seen as scary places at night, right? Ooh, they're very scary. You've probably seen some movies where there's like a graveyard scene at night, and it's scary. I don't know why people are scared of graveyards, but they are, okay? And I don't know why this shift is called a graveyard shift. Maybe it's because you feel dead at the end of the night, right? You worked all night. You didn't sleep, so you feel dead. Maybe that's why it's called a graveyard shift. I don't know. Okay, so let's say it's 7 p.m. Okay, what should he ask her? Well, he could say this. Is your evening off to a good start? Hey, Linda, is your evening off to a good start? Because they started work at 6, right? And now it's 7. So it's just 1 hour into their shift, right? So this would be a good question to ask. Or he could say this. Hey, how's your evening going so far? Hey, Linda, how's your evening going so far? Okay, now what about if it's like 10 p.m.? Then what would be the best thing to ask? Well, then he could ask, hey, how's your evening been? How's your evening been? Because now the evening is actually coming to an end, right? I mean, there's no official end to the evening, right? But I would say probably 10 or 11 p.m. is when the evening ends, and then the night starts after that, right? So now the evening is sort of coming to a close. So he's asking this question, hey, how's your evening been? Okay, now let's say it's midnight, 12 a.m., right? Then he could ask, hey, how's your night going? Hey, how's your night going? Okay, and let's say it's 4 a.m. Then he could ask, hey, how's your night been? How's your night been? Because the night is almost over, right? They finish work at 6 a.m., so it's just 2 more hours left. Hey, how's your night been? Okay, and then at 6 a.m., he could ask, hey, how was your night? How was your night? Now, they're finished work, their night is over, and they're going to go home and sleep. Probably most of the day, and then they will do it again. There are people whose job is always the graveyard shift. That's their shift, right? Maybe for 6 months or a year or something. They work every night. That would be crazy. Actually, I pretty much work the graveyard shift here at Mad English TV. A lot of my videos are in the middle of the night, like 1 p.m. or no, sorry, not p.m. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Sometimes I upload videos at 3 or 4 a.m. So I work the graveyard shift here at Mad English TV. Okay, so we use the word was when something is finished. When something is finished. If it's not finished yet, Then we need to use a different verb tense. Okay, we could say is going. That's the present continuous verb tense. Or we could say has been. Has been. That is the present perfect verb tense. Okay, verb tenses are important because they indicate time. They show a person's position in time. So that's why they're important. That's why if you use the wrong verb tense, it can be confusing because the time is not right, right? I mean, if you're talking about the future, but you use a past verb tense, then that can be really confusing, right? You might make some big mistakes at your work if you get the wrong verb tense, right? So this is really important. Now, you might be asking a question here. You might have a question in your mind that is this. What about this verb tense? Has been going. Okay, this is the present perfect continuous verb tense, the present perfect continuous. Now, can we use this verb tense in all the situations we just looked at in this lesson? You know, at work, two people talking. Can they say, hey, Linda, how's your day been going? Or how's your morning been going? Yes, you can use this verb tense if you want. But I think it's better to use the present continuous, which is going. Hey, Linda, how's your morning going? Or the present perfect, which is has been. Hey, Linda, how's your morning been? Okay, so I think those two are better than this one. This one we would use more for situations like this. How's work been going these days? How's work been going these days? Okay, let's say you haven't seen your friend for a few weeks. And then you see him one day. You say, hey, John, how's work been going these days? How's work been going these days? This would be a very natural question to ask in that situation. But you could also ask, how's work been these days? Or you could ask, how's work going these days? Or you could say, how's work these days? Okay, so you have 4 options here. Okay, one option is this, how's work been going these days? The second option is, how's work been these days? The third option is, how's work going these days? And the fourth option is, how's work these days? English is a little bit crazy sometimes. Do you think English is crazy? Well, that's why I called my channel Mad English TV, because the word mad can mean crazy. So that's why I called my channel Mad English TV, because I like teaching this kind of stuff. It's crazy. You know, this is very confusing for a lot of people, but I want to help make English simple for you to understand. That's why I make these lessons, because I really want to help you learn English a little bit better, because you're trying hard, right? If you're trying hard, I want to help you, right? It's really frustrating when you're trying hard, but you can't find the right resources. Nothing is making sense. English grammar is so confusing. Well, I want to help you, I want to make it simpler for you to understand so you can be happy and enjoy your life. All right, so let's do some homework. Let's say it's 11:30 a.m. and me and you are co-workers. We're colleagues. Okay, what would you ask me? What would you ask me? Let me know down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.